All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the final episode of this season, so of the first season of the podcast, The Little Filly Who Couldn't Be Broke. I am Roxanne Vallier. I am owner-operator of Soul to Soul Healing, and we are here in beautiful Saskatchewan, Canada. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I actually don't have a topic for today's podcast. Today's podcast is just a wrap up. I have a beautiful podcast coming next week for season 2, the opener of season 2. I am exhausted today from traveling over the weekend to beautiful British Columbia, Canada, and visiting some amazing friends of ours. So I'm a little tired today, but I just wanted to pop on, and I just had to come on and finish off the season 1 of the podcast and just say thank you. I really just wanted to say thank you for being here and for listening in, and I hope that I have given you guys some free content, or it is free content, but some little nuggets to think about, to process, to apply into your lives, and some pieces to go forward with. As always, you know where to find me. So if you need help in any of those areas, I'm always here to help, and there's always something available that I could help you in any way that I could help you. So yeah, I've got my little notebook beside me, and I'm just looking over all of the different podcasts that I have done this season, my amazing list of all the podcasts. So I went deep and I told you my story. My puppy is barking in the middle of the day. That's unusual, but not unheard of. I told you about all of the modalities that I have jumped in and I have learned and I've now applied in my own kind of way of working. We've talked about healing with the horses, healing ancestral, animal communication, home and land clearings, which I am jumping more and more into. I'm finding more and more important. Before it was just kind of surface level stuff, and the deeper I learned about that, the more important I felt that it became for me, and the more I learned about empathy and sensitivity, the more I realized that was really important for me. I just have to keep trusting my intuition and diving deeper into my intuition. And the more I do this work, the deeper my intuitive senses get. So that's the same for you. The more you just continue to do the work, the more that you apply it, the more that you practice it, the more that you kind of sit with it, the more that you journal about it, the more deeper you get into your story, the more that you start to trust that intuition and take steps on the signs and symbolisms and nudges and messages that you get from, your intuitive nature, however it shows up for you, the more you can trust it, and the more you will trust it, and the more you'll step into it, and the more you'll have to trust it because it's working. And the closer you will get to, your soul's truth, and you'll step into that. We also talked about that not long ago. So on, the second half of the year, I moved into divine timing and trust, right? Taking responsibility for your stuff. So moving into that story. And where can you take radical responsibility and not blame anyone else and step into what you need to step into? That being said, empathy and sensitivity. It's not blaming other people, but it's understanding that the environment around us and the people around us and all of the things around us also have an impact. But then we need to take more responsibility for how that empathy shows up for us, and stepping out of their stuff and understanding this is mine, this is yours, and that's where boundaries come in. And I know I've talked about that. talking about the mother wound, talking about ancestral healing, talking about moving through and empowering the divine feminine in me, in my family members, in you, in my clients, and it just starts to snowball right out into the world. So that divine feminine, the divine mother, and maternal instincts and everything, it's some deep wounding, some deep healing needed to happen there, and the ancestral healing. So if you are from a culture or from just a place or from even a family, because it's not necessarily always a culture, some people from like some of the most divine cultures or the most enlightened cultures, there's kind of different tiers of how people are treated and how people show up. So it doesn't really matter if you say, I am this particular culture, I'm from this particular country, I'm from like this is my ancestral stuff, that family stuff, and how the family showed up within that culture and where they kind of sat in the rankings of kind of like the energetic vibration within that culture's system or within their traditions or belief systems and stuff, right? Their religions and the practices and their spirituality. Let's see. Told you my story. We talked about chakras, we talked about energy work, we talked about stepping into courage. That goes right along with trust and intuition, surrendering to it all. And that is also a piece of trusting. We talked about moving through our fears. So what is blocking us? What is showing up for us? What's coming up? Those limiting belief systems, those fears, those emotions, so that anger, that resentment, that grief, the worry, the stress that we put on ourselves. That's what's coming up. That's what's blocking us, right? Is just how we're showing up for ourselves. And then on the other half of that, I talked about love and your divine truth. So knowing that we are not our fears, knowing that we are not our stresses, knowing that there's another way, knowing that there's some place that is beyond these fears, that's beyond these worries, that's beyond these blocks that we have, and these barricades and these walls and these situations that we have created for ourselves, right? There is another way, and there can be another way, and there's a more empowered way. And so the first thing is to look at those fears, take radical responsibility, step into that courage, step into that trust, step into that intuition, and just move your way slowly through those limiting beliefs, and you will slowly start to come out the other side and start to understand that there's a different way of being. Okay. Yes, and I had the conversation about boundaries. So I actually wrote down here manifesting, which I will go into next season. It will be coming next season. So, and that brings me to the end of this season's podcast. All the things that we learned about, all the things that we talked about, and all of these topics are very much important, very important for personal growth, very important for changing our perspective on the world, very important for moving through and just stepping up and stepping into our power, becoming the most empowered and the most I was going to say honest, and it's true, like the most honest selves we could be, right? Being the most authentic, that's the word I was looking for, the most authentic self we can be. The more we move through this, the more we step into who we truly are. So, you know what? That might be the topic. I did not have a topic. I'm just going to say thank you, and I'm just going to show up, and I'm just going to kind of do a wrap-up one. But you know what? Today's topic is going to be about authenticity and stepping into that authentic truth. So once we do all of this stuff, once we step into the healing, once we step into the forgiveness, step into the courage, step into the work, follow your intuition, you really, really, really start to journal and understand the authentic you. who is you versus like what's true for you versus what's the truth for someone else. And sometimes when I talk about the truth for someone else, I'm actually talking about their limiting beliefs, because like they think it's true that they have to stress about this, but they don't, right? They don't have to stress about it either. That being said, that's what's coming up for them. That's for them to move through. That's their responsibility. And once we start to take that radical responsibility, like I was talking about, and really step into what's ours versus what someone else's, then we start to really show up in the most authentic way that we can in this moment, right? In this moment, because this work is never ending. This every day we are going to, start to or continue to stay aware of what we're feeling, stay aware of what we're believing, stay aware of how we're showing up, stay aware of how we're presenting ourselves, and just kind of like the actions we're taking, and what we're thinking about things, and how we're showing up in all aspects. Physically, the actions we're taking, right? And emotionally, how we're feeling about life. Mentally, how we're believing about life. And spiritually, are we trusting? Are we really, really settling into that place of gratitude, courage, trust, empowerment, enlightenment, unconditional love, peace, all of the things, joy, all of the things that are a higher vibration than sitting in a state of fear or worry or anger or anything else. So, how do we really, I'm going to reword that, because let's take out the how beyond doing the work. So doing the work is meditation, doing the work is journaling, doing the work is just going for a walk in nature, doing the work is sitting in silence, doing the work is understanding what's going on inside of you and changing it and shifting it and settling into the place of almost like it just is what it is. Whew, acceptance. It just is what it is. It's perfect as it is. It's perfect as it is. And maybe I needed to hear that today. Whew, I'm going to write that down. I took my pen, so I can't write that down. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. It's perfect as it is. I'm going to repeat that one more time. It's perfect just how it is. Okay. I think I wanted to keep, it didn't matter. I just assumed, I guess. I just kind of felt, I didn't really assume, I felt that this one was just going to be the conclusion, and so it was probably going to be shorter. I wasn't going into a longer lesson, if you will, or spiel about anything, any one particular topic. But yeah, just finding and stepping into that authentic, the most authentic you, because it's perfect just as it is. Oh, look at me. I still have travel hair today. It's a bit messy. Yeah. So I will see you on season 2. I have some fun. They're fun to me. I don't know. some fun podcast waiting in the wings. I haven't recorded anything yet. Obviously, I'm still recording this one, but I have some ideas. I have some topics waiting in the wings for you guys. So I will see you on season 2. I can't believe it's been a year since I started a podcast. That is crazy to me. But I'll see you there.